Howdy ho, ladies and gents, how are we on this particular day? I personally am peachy because today I get to play a fucking awesome game. Toy Story 2 Buzz Lightyear to the Rescue, truly a PS1 classic. If you remember my last review, we looked at Toy Story Racer, and in said review I mentioned how the series have been treated fairly well in terms of video games. And as an example of their quality I mentioned this sexy motherfucker of a game. And when I say sexy motherfucker, I mean sexy motherfucker, because this is one lovely game here. I'm serious, I love it so much. Suit up. And if anything, this game had more right to be bad than even Toy Story Racer, since as I also mentioned in my last review, this game actually came out after both Toy Story 1 and 2, and as shown by its characters and environment, it's actually based on the first film rather than the second. So it was released 6 years after the film it was based on, which is unusual for most licensed games, since most of them are made to tie in with the movies with normally very little effort put into them just as a quick cash grab. And Toy Story 2 was released in 1999 to coincide with the film's release. But this game is nothing but near and dear to me. It's actually one of the first ever video games my family owned when they first got a PlayStation 1, along with... Anyway, so yeah, I know this game pretty much inside and out, I've played it that much. In terms of the actual film Toy Story 2, a maybe controversial opinion, but I think it's not only my personal favourite of the trilogy, but also my favourite Pixar movie ever. I know, and that's saying something when it's stacked up against greats such as Inside Out or Up. But even so, when stacked up against the other two films in the trilogy, I don't know what it is. Maybe it was because it was the first of the three that I saw, or because it was the one I watched the most as a kid. Despite how revolutionary and well-aged the first film is, and how well written and emotional the third one can be, the second one just can't be topped for me. So, this is all looking just fab for starters, and I guess without any further ado, to infinity, and let's get the fuck on with this. Released in 1999, developed by Traveller's Tales and published by Activision, this game is one of the most quality licensed games I have ever played. Hell, even one of the most fun collectathon platformers ever. Now, it's not without flaw, I'll say that now, but damn, for the most part, it does a lot of things right. For starters, I think the thing it absolutely nails the best is the level design. Much like how Toy Story Racer's tracks are not designed like kart racing tracks, but rather as actual human-sized locations, the same applies here. These are not designed like most 3D platforming collectathon levels, and instead take full advantage of the fact that you are a toy in the human world. And they make you feel like one by avoiding conventional design and are instead laid out as regular human-sized environments that are slightly altered to allow for interesting platforming but still maintain the effect. You really feel the size and scale as Buzz, and it makes for a very unique kind of platformer as it turns what would be a normal environment for a human into an interesting platforming challenge, and I fucking love it. Along with this, the presentation really shines as you get to see these large scale levels that really push the PS1 and just pop with colour and vibrance. And traversing these levels is only made more enjoyable with the game's controls. They are perfect for the type of game that it is. Buzz has just the right weight and balance to him. The jumping, double jumping, laser shooting and spin all feel wonderfully satisfying to do because of the responsiveness and the sound effects. Oh, and speaking of sound, this game has a fucking awesome soundtrack. It's one of the best things about this game. It completely surpasses expectations for a soundtrack to a Toy Story game by bringing out the fun, ominous, and sometimes epic atmospheres of these levels. Each track combined with the visuals and level design all work really well and just hit the right tone and make each level feel very familiar yet very different from each other. There's 15 levels in total, split into 5 zones that chronologically take you through the story and environments from the film. And in each zone you go through 2 open-ended collectathon platforming levels and then 1 boss level. The goal in each of these platforming levels is to collect 5 Pizza Planet tokens, and they all follow the same objective structure in each level. You get 1 by collecting 5 of a certain item or thing and bringing it back to a certain character. 1 is collected from completing some form of race or time challenge, 1 from defeating a mini-boss, 1 from collecting 50 coins found around the level or by killing enemies and giving them to Ham. I thought you were my friend, Ham. Can't just give me the token, no! Our friend Woody is in danger, but all you seem to care about is the money, you greedy fucking oink. And finally, there's a mystery token awarded by completing a platforming or puzzle challenge. Despite having the same 5 objectives in each stage, every level's different design and environment puts multiple variations of the same objective to suit the theme of the level. And the unique qualities of each stage are that fun that I feel like the only way I can give this game justice is to go through it level by level. Yeah, so without further ado, let's go and shit. Level 1, Andy's House, one of the most iconic PS1 game levels from my childhood, and it eases you into the game's mechanics nicely. Hell, even this first room introduces you to most of the platforming elements easily, with jumping, pushing objects, climbing poles, zip lines, and even using the first person perspective. One of the tokens here is collected from beating RC in a race, but he seems to be taking it a bit badly. He's just having some sort of fit or seizure, or I don't know. RC? You okay? Buddy? It's just a race. Calm down. The mini-boss of this level is a tin robot. Very easy. All you gotta do is wait until he stops chasing you and then shoot him. Rinse and repeat until his head fucking explodes.
I am Buzz Lightyear. I come in peace.
Bullshit, that doesn't look like peace to me. Oh yeah, and we also have Rex. He's in every level to give you tips on each of the tokens, but for someone like me who knows this game very well, he's just pretty fucking useless. We also get to unlock our first power-up in this level. In the first level of each zone, you can find Mr. Potato Head who has lost his body part. And by finding his missing part and bringing it back to him, you unlock a new power-up that can be used in any level it's found in. But this shield power-up is pretty useless. Aside from like one other time in the game, this is its only appearance, and even then you could easily get past this toxic slime even without it, and you can't even double jump at it. It's bullshit. Oh, and the game's soundtrack is letting us know right from the get-go that it means business. Level 2, Andy's Neighbourhood, again a solid level having us go through the backyards of Andy's neighbours. And again we can race RC, and the game tries to make it seem like you need a power up from a later level to beat him, but you can just cheese it and make it eat your ass instead. It also introduces a bit more advanced platforming with this huge tree in the middle that requires a small bit of challenge to get to the top. And awaiting us there is the level's mini boss, the Zerg kite. You get it? It's a kite with Zerg's face on it. Oh, and this level has what I think is the best piece of music in the entire soundtrack. It's so fucking good. Level 3 now, our first boss level, Bombs Away. It's a very easy boss fight where you get ambushed by a flying plane, but all you have to do to beat it is just stand there, go into first person mode and keep shooting. Simple as. Level 4, the construction site, one of the game's best levels. Yeah, see, this guy knows, he knows what this level's like. This level plays a bit more with verticality, with a lot of the platforming based around scaling this construction frame that for younger players could be quite challenging, but the level provides shortcuts to act as checkpoints the further you get up. We also get a simple yet fun mystery token challenge where we have to mix colours, very basic but still a nice concept. And we also get our next power up, the disc launcher, an ammo based weapon that is a lot stronger than the laser and is also required to defeat the level's mini boss, the jackhammer on top of the construction frame. And thankfully this power up does have a bit more application and is used a bit more in the game than the shield. Oh, and in this level we also meet these fucking fucks. I call them fucking fucks because they are literally fucking fucks. I don't like them. Now on from one of the better levels to probably the worst one, level 5, Alleys and Gullies. I don't know what it is about this level, but it's just not as enjoyable as the others. It's a more tougher stage with more precarious platforming, and it's the first level where you can't collect all 5 tokens on your first playthrough. And the challenges just seem a bit more less creative and underwhelming here. The mystery token isn't very interesting, and the time challenge just has us collect as 5 bones that are literally within a meter of us. And when you return to this level after getting the grappling hook, you face the game's most annoying and tedious platforming challenge where you have to scale these buildings on very narrow platforms and electrified zip lines. And if you fuck up once, the likelihood is that it knocks you all the way back down. And even then, you climb all the way up here just to fight... Okay, fuck knows what that is, but it dies as quickly as it's introduced. Oh, and also there's this mother duck who's lost her kids. Parent of the year. Despite this level being rather mediocre, it does have some awesome music to compensate for it. Level 6, Slime Time, our second boss level. Here we have to fight this slime monster by shooting him repeatedly to shrink him down, only for him to come back bigger until he dies. Again, nothing that hard, and if anything the challenge is more about if you're able to constantly tap the fire button. Level 7, Owl's Toy Barn, a nice level, and here we get what is in my opinion the best power up in the game, the rocket boots. We also get a fun time-based challenge, and yet another mother who has lost her kids and expects me to find them for her. The fuck am I supposed to do about it? They're your kids! This level, however, does have the worst boss fight in the game. It's this toy dinosaur and the fight doesn't even last 4 seconds. It's also in this level where I tended to notice one of the more flawed aspects of the game, its camera. It's not bad, but it just has a tendency to get a bit stuck and be a bit awkward from time to time. And while it does snap behind you automatically, I don't think you can move it manually, which is a bit of a shame. Level 8, Owl's Spaceland, another good level, and despite still being set in the toy barn, the presentation allows for enough of a different feeling environment to set it apart more. There's a cool mystery token challenge involving a claw machine, the only other use of the shield in the game, and a unique race on zip lines, but unfortunately a disappointing boss. You remember how in the film there were 2 buzzes? Wouldn't have that been a cool concept for a fight? Fighting yourself with a similar moveset? Well no, he's just relegated to a buggy and he's piss easy. It's shit. But still a fun level nonetheless. Level 9, the Toy Barn Encounter, and what could we expect from our third main boss? Well, you know those fucking fucks I talked about? Well, how about a giant fucking fuck? The gimmick of this fight is that whenever you hit him, he opens these pods releasing enemies to attack you until it's just you and him. And then it just turns into a more tedious pattern of run away, turn around, shoot until he dies. Now on to my favourite level in the game, level 10, the elevator hop. I love the concept of this level. At first you start at the bottom of the elevator shaft and it seems like there's not much you can do, but if you platform around this small power room you'll find Mr. Potato Head's foot, and if you give it to him you will unlock the grappling hook. And you use this to climb through these vents to reach the power room, and after solving the mystery token puzzle you activate the elevators. And now we have to platform between these alternating lifts to reach the top where we get to activate shortcuts. And I thought Alleys and Gullies was precarious, because again, if you're not careful, it can be very easy to— OH SHIT! Fucking shit! Oh fuck! Bollocking fuck! Ting Wackstein! Oh fuck! Oh. And for some reason, this level kinda scared me as a kid. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was the fear of falling or wandering through these vents not knowing what was around the corner. Oh shit! Or maybe it was this level's great and quite overly ominous and dramatic music. And this level also has some good challenges, a fun time token challenge where you slide down a vent all the way from the top to the bottom, a decent mini-boss, and yet another mother who has lost her kids. It seems a bit worrying that bad parenting is a recurring theme in this game, but yeah, at least I get rewarded for it, so neglect away. Oh, and I also found out if you exit this level after collecting Ham's token, Buzz just smacks straight into the ceiling.
To infinity and beyond!
Yeah, beautiful. Level 11, Owl's Penthouse, yet another fine level as we explore Owl's Western themed apartment. And this level has my favourite mystery token challenge, as we have to use switches to divert this train travelling around the side of the room into a siding so that we can push a box all the way around to get a token. Lovely jubbly. Our mini-boss here is against this lanky gunslinger who looks neither thrilled nor annoyed to see me, it seems. And like every other boss, he's very easy and— whoa, shit! I think I killed him. Like, actually properly killed him. Like, he didn't explode or nothing, he just straight up died. Oh well, he looks pretty much dead to begin with.
Over here, Buzz!
What? Was that supposed to be Jesse's voice?
Over here, Buzz!
Bloody hell, Joan Cusack, that certainly ain't. Yeah, there's quite a few other strange things going on in this level, like poor old Bullseye doesn't seem too right here. But, Bullseye? Are you okay? I don't think Bullseye is okay. Level 12, the Evil Emperor Zurg. The first boss that's actually a fight directly from the film, and even though it's very easy when compared to the other boss fights, it's probably the game's best. Your laser does diddly fuck all here, so you have to use your spin to both attack him and deflect his attacks. Again, nothing too special, but definitely the best boss the game has to offer. Level 13, Airport Infiltration. Again, a decent level, and like some others, has a more vertical based design, with swinging poles, conveyor belts, bouncy suitcases, all just to get this little shit. Fuck this, what a waste. What, you can die for all I care. I'm just gonna kill myself. And we also, for some reason, meet Rocky in this level. Why? Did he literally just come all the way from Andy's house just to withhold a Pizza Planet token unless I got 5 dumbbells from him? You cunt. And we unlock our final power-up, the hover boots, after giving Mr. Potato Head his missing eye back. And unfortunately, like the shield, these have a very limited use and are only used a couple of times in the game. One of these uses is to gain access to the level's mini-boss, the Prospector, and again, it's a simple boss, but he attacks a lot more aggressively, but I managed to beat him by stomping on his fucking face. We're getting there now with our last platforming stage, level 14, Tarmac Trouble. And this is a very unique stage in terms of layout, but it comes at a cost. This is a very large open level on a runway, and the idea is that there are these stations around the map, each with something significant on them. And to get on them, we need to reach the middle, climb up this pole, and get on a plane that moves around the level in a circle. Now, it's not a terrible concept, but because the level is so big, it feels very barren and more tedious to travel around. And it's quite annoying, seeing as every time you want to get to a new station, you can't just jump right back on the plane. Instead, you have to walk all the way back to the centre and climb on the plane every time, and it just becomes a drag. Yes, the ground does have rocket boots spread around to speed things up, but it still takes a lot longer than it should. But the level still does manage to have some good Pizza Planet challenges. The time challenge requires you to precisely control Buzz to the end of this trail without touching the green line or jumping. And I've never had any fucking clue what's going on with this mystery token in the level. I get that the idea is to light all the lights up, but I don't really pay attention and just stomp on buttons till I win. The mini-boss here is also a bit cheap. He's this huge blacksmith, and firstly, he doesn't fit the theme of the stage, and secondly, I swear his attack is unavoidable. It just seems to follow you around until it hits you. But at least the blacksmith has this cold, lifeless gaze when we beat him, as if he's given up on life, and we get to push his body around. It's fun. And finally, the last level, the Prospector Showdown. We're in the cargo hold of a plane, and we get to finally see Woody, or at least something that looks vaguely like him. He'll do. But we get ambushed by 3 of the mini-bosses, the Prospector, the Blacksmith, and the Gunslinger, so it's a 3v1 fight, and this is the only point in the game where I actually died. Mainly because you have 3 bosses just spamming you with attacks, but this level does tilt to give you the impression of a plane taking off, and it's quite cool. And once we beat them, we get our reward, Woody. You know, I'm starting to think that maybe this was a waste of time. But with that, that is Toy Story 2 Buzz Lightyear to the rescue. I hope that at least by taking you through the entirety of the game that you can see why I love it so much. And yes, it's not perfect, there are some very prominent flaws. The camera is not perfect, the level design is not always great, a couple of the gameplay mechanics are seemingly wasted. And yes, the game is very easy, but I understand that the target audience for this game is children, and the difficulty is nicely balanced for that demographic. And it's not really anything that long. If you know the game well, you can easily 100% it in about 3 or 4 hours. And even then, doing that just awards you with a bonus clip from the movie, much like the ones you earn by progressing throughout the game. And while very compressed with some awful audio mixing, I can understand that for the time before the film was on video or DVD, this was probably a neat reward. But despite the fact that this game is intended for children, as an adult I can say that I really enjoy this game to this day, because when it gets it right, it gets it right. Traveller's Tales could have easily just slapped some shit together and called it a day and make a lazy cash in, but they didn't. They took the time to design, for the most part, really creative levels and platforming challenges with a cool concept, while doing the film and the PS1 in general justice, by making a quality game that I can proudly admit is one of my favourite PS1 games of all time. And because of that, I will give this game a well-deserved 9 out of 10. And much like Toy Story Racer, you can get this game on the PSN store for the PS3 and Vita, so if you still have one of those, do check it out, especially if you love 3D platformer collectathons, you're in for a surprising treat. And with that, thank you for watching this video, and please do feel free to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this. Until next time, to infinity and beyond.